Hello, let's watch this video to learn about the process of your research project. Writing a research report is part of most university degrees, so it is essential you know what one is and how to write one. A research project for students is an extended essay that presents a question or statement for analysis and evaluation. During a research project, you will present your own ideas and research on a subject alongside analyzing existing knowledge. There are several steps you can follow to do a good job on your research project. The first step of your research project is certainly to choose a research topic that is meaningful and doable. We normally start with something that you already have an interest in and where you have some existing knowledge, because that would give you the best motivation to carry out your research project. You will have a better idea of where and what to look for in your sources, and you will also find it more enjoyable as it is a topic you want to know more about. If you really have no idea to start with, doing some preliminary research and pre-writing could help you identify a suitable topic. The next step is to conduct a literature review to identify any gaps in knowledge and provide a foundation for the study. The literature review can be seen as your secondary research. Your job is to discover the research that has been done, the major perspectives, and the significant thinkers and writers who have published on the topic you're interested in. By identifying what is known on your topic, you can then decide what is not known. And this justifies your research effort because you definitely don't want to duplicate research that has already been done. When you do your literature review, you should not only summarize your sources, but make connections between them. Identify the major trends and controversies, and link them up with your research focus. It is essential to use credible sources, as failing to do so may decrease the validity of your research project. Great places to find your sources are the University Library and Google Scholar. Among the different types of sources, journal articles can be the most helpful, as journals are where scholars in a field talk to each other, in a formal way, on key issues in their fields. It can also be helpful to follow the references at the end of the important books or articles, which can lead to additional credible sources. Be sure your sources are current. This is especially important in fields like the sciences and the social sciences. Step 3 is to identify the research gap and form your research questions. As you read more about your topic, you will grow in your understanding of the topic, and you will also know what are the uninvestigated areas of your topic. Use these ideas to develop your research questions. One or more of these ideas could include a potentially mistaken claim or contradictory claims from the previous studies, a gap in the field, which could be understood as an important aspect of the research area that has been ignored, a question where existing research is unclear about, and a potential extension of work to add more information on the topic. Once the research questions have been developed, the next step is to design your questionnaire so that you can collect data for your topic. A good researcher needs to be very clear about their research questions and what they intend to investigate, while a good questionnaire should be based on the research questions. For example, you want to investigate the peer influence phenomenon among local university students, and you have 3 research questions formed for your project. What questions would you ask in your questionnaire so that you can gather information to answer these research questions? For the first research question, for example, you might want to know how often your respondents, that is, some local university students, feel pressure from their peers. Apart from the perceived frequency of feeling pressure from their peers, you might also want to set up a few questions that check their response behaviors when their friends ask them to do something they might not have wanted to do. Remember, the unfortunate result of a bad questionnaire design would be bad data. So you should carefully think about your questionnaire design. Ask questions that are relevant to your research questions, and ask good questions that provide you reliable data. When your questionnaire is ready, you can then send it out to gather your data. This is the primary research you would conduct for your research project. With the data you've collected, you can then analyze them, interpret the results, and draw conclusions. The results should be interpreted in light of the research questions you've asked in the beginning stage of your research project. That means you should explain what light your results shed to the questions you've posed in the introduction. Another step you need to take in your data analysis is to relate your findings to the previous studies. Place your results in context by comparing them with the sources you have covered in your literature review. This is how you could contribute to the field of study and advance knowledge in the researched area. Before you bring your research project to a close, you need to address any unanswered questions and discuss the limitations within the research project as reasons to suggest additional future research. Finally, you will write up your research report using the IMRD structure to disseminate your findings to the academic audience in a clear and concise manner. At this point, you should see how a research project exhibits the past, present, and future dimensions, where the previous studies could have informed your present study, and your present study can lead to further studies in the future. As a research project is essentially your own ideas blended with information and research from existing knowledge, you should never forget that you need to cite any sources you have used to avoid plagiarism. Hope this guide will help you understand the research process better and do a fabulous job on your research project.